Hello, and welcome to this episode of Simply Saturday. My name is Julie, and this is Stamp with Julie Baum. You might already know that I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up, and I have been stamping and paper crafting for over 30 years. This is the beginning of 2026, and I am very excited to bring you another fast and easy card. My Saturday series that you'll find here on YouTube is called Simply Saturday, and the goal is to always show you a card that is fast and easy to make. Even though not everything that I like to create is always fast and easy, that is what you're going to find in my Saturday series. So, for today's episode, we are making a card that has a heart or Valentine theme. Let's jump in and get started. All right, I am using stamps and dies. The stamp set is called Endless Love, and the coordinating dies are the Endless Love dies. Now, for the fast and easy card, we're using just very straightforward parts and pieces, but I am going to show you two other completed cards that take it up just a level because of using a little bit more of the die cut aspect. All right, so I have to begin with a card base that is strawberry slush cardstock. This piece measures 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches. And before I started filming, I already made a score mark here at the halfway point. This is at 4.25 inches. Now, another thing I wanted to point out, okay, it's going to come up later. I wanted to make sure that you see a little hint when you are cutting your paper that might be helpful. And so we're going to come back to that. I thought it was on this one, but it's actually on one of the completed ones. So when we get there, I'm going to remember to call that out. That's our card base. Then I have a piece of white cardstock that is 4 inches by 5.25 inches. This piece is going to go on the inside of our card. All right, I have another piece of just plain white cardstock. This measures 2 inches by 3.25 inches. I have another piece of white. This started out just about the same size as this, but I went ahead and used a die and die cut this before I started filming. This is from the Nested Essentials. There are 4 sizes of this rounded rectangle, and this is let me tell you, actually, let me just show you. So here's the 4 sizes, and this is the second from the smallest. So the smallest, the one that I used is this one, and then there are 2 larger ones after that. So I went ahead and die cut that ahead of time just to make the video shorter. If you don't have those dies, you could certainly just cut a rectangle, and that would need to be about 2.25 inches by about 1 3/8. So that is an approximate, all right? But you can just cut a rectangle out instead of doing the die cutting portion, either because you don't have the dies or you're even going for faster than the card today, which took just a couple of moments to do the die cutting. All right, let's talk about our designer series paper. I am using the Made with Love 12 by 12 packet. You can see the colors here that are indicated in the papers. We have stripes and hearts and all kinds of really, really cute prints. Of course, this is 2-sided paper, so you're going to have a print on the front and the back of each sheet. We are using this one, and what I recommend is for you to choose a paper for this fast and easy card that is not directional. In other words, this can go any way. You don't have a certain way that it has to go in order for it to look like it's upright. Okay, you can see the back side of this is a heart print, which is rather directional. So that is why I chose to not use that. And we are using this side as our choice. All right. You're going to need 4 pieces of your designer series paper. They are 7/8 of an inch wide, and they have varying lengths. So you're going to have one that is 3 inches, one that is 3 1/4, one that is 4 inches, and one that is 4 1/4 inches. I am going to show you how to cut your paper. So if you are newer to paper crafting, this might be helpful. If you are already very well versed in cutting your paper, then you don't necessarily need to watch this part. Now, my pieces for today's card are already cut, so I'm going to set those aside and just bring in a different paper to show you how to do the cutting. This is a retired paper, and that will be just an easy way for you to watch and learn how to cut your paper if you need this step. So I'm using my paper trimmer. I'm going to take my paper. Now, you might have a piece that's 12 inches long, which is great. In that case, you would only need to cut 1 7/8 inch strip plus a second one or another smaller piece than that, because the 12 inches won't be quite enough. I have some random pieces here, so we're just going to use whatever is here. So 7/8 of an inch is going to be, of course, just short of your 1 inch mark. And if you aren't real comfortable with your 16ths, I'll just talk you through it. So it's 2 lines to the right of your 1 inch mark. All right, we're going to cut that. That will give us our 7/8. And we need a piece that is 4 1/4 inches. So now here on this left side, I'm going to find the 4 1/4. Okay, if you're not sure, find your 4 and your 5. In the very middle, of course, is 4 1/2, and the large mark between your 4 and your 4 1/2 is your 4 1/4. And we'll cut that piece. Then we need a piece that is 7/8 of an inch by 4 inches. That's easy to find. Line up my left edge here at the 4 inch mark and cut. Then I need a piece that is 7/8 of an inch wide and 3 1/4 inches. So here's 3 and move it over to the 1/4 inch mark. And the final piece is once again 7/8. Oh, that kind of slid when I shut it. There we go. I did it again. Let me hold on to it. And only 3 inches this time. So this left edge of my paper is right at the 3 inch mark. And there we have it. So that is how you're going to cut your paper. I have my heart print paper that we're actually going to use. These I will use a little bit later. I have a card base for that in this pretty green color. Isn't that pretty? And so this will end up getting finished in the similar way as the card that we're going to create together right now. Okay, now what I recommend that you do is you take those 4 pieces of paper and we are going to lay them out in a specific order. So you're going to find the longest one first. This is the 4 1/4 inch piece. You're going to set that first. The next piece is your smallest piece. That's your 3 inch piece. Then the 3 1/4 inch piece, and then the 4 inch piece. This is going to be piece number 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, we're going to start by gluing those to our card base. So starting with piece number 1, and I'm going to go ahead and use my liquid glue. I like the value of liquid glue. I also like the fact that once I lay my piece of paper down, if it's not quite where I want it to be, I can still maneuver it around a little bit before this glue dries. So I'm going to come down here to the bottom right corner of the card base and leaving a little border on both the bottom edge and the right edge. I'm going to lay that first strip down. Now we're going to come to piece number 2. And now we're just going to work in a clockwise order, and we're going to work our way around the card base. So now I'm going to come to the bottom and looking at my spacing, both below, to the left and to the right. And I don't bother with measuring it. You can pretty much eyeball it. And we'll get that piece in place. Piece number 3. This is going to go up this folded edge, looking at my spaces and my border between the edge of the card and the paper. And then piece number 4, our 4th and final piece. Is going to close this off at the top. And there we have it. Okay, that part was not hard, but if you are looking for what the hardest part is, that was it. Now that part's done. Then we're going to take that white piece that's 2 inches by 3¼ inches, and we are going to go ahead and attach it. We are going to do some stamping on this, but I think that it's simple and straightforward enough that you can go ahead and glue your piece down. If you're worried about maybe making a mistake, then you can stamp on this piece first before attaching it to the front of the card. All right, all we're going to do for our stamping on this piece is use this very cute heart stamp. It's like a cluster of hearts. And the ink color that I've chosen is Bubble Bath. All right, so just, I think we're going to do 2. So one up here kind of in the left and one down just a little bit lower, just to make a cute little heart print. Okay, now we're going to continue stamping, but now we're going to stamp on that pre-die cut tag that we created. And this is going to say happy. Okay, I want you to be able to see, but I need to be able to see also. So let me slide this down a little bit here. Happy. That was Strawberry Slush ink. Then I'll stamp a heart in Bubble Bath. And the word day in Strawberry Slush. Now, if you wanted to just use one color and make it even that much faster, you totally could. All right, so we have Happy Heart Day or Love Day. This piece is now going to go ahead and go right here on the front of our card. Let's pop it up with some dimensionals. Now, the 2 other cards that I'm going to show you, where I said I took it another level in the decorating, happens in this area and at that time. So in just a minute, I will bring those right here into view, and we'll talk through the elements that kind of dress it up just a little bit more. Okay, here's our Happy Heart Day. I am almost wishing that I had some hearts down here that are going to show right below my tag. So I'm just going to do it. I wasn't planning on doing it, but now that I'm looking at it, most of these hearts are going to be completely covered by my tag, but I want a couple hearts peeking out at the very, very bottom. So I've added that one. Now you can see that once this goes into place, you can see that now it just looks like these hearts are continuing all the way down. I think that looks better. All right, so we'll place this right about there. And then I think it needs a little bit of bloom. So let's take our rhinestone, just basic jewels, and we're going to pop on a couple of these right up here in this white space, like so. All right, very fast, very easy. Super cute. Let's create the inside of the card. And again, fast and easy. So let's see, if you are following what I did, we have hearts. So let's stick with our hearts instead of getting something different out. And let's do this. Let's put some of those hearts here, some of them down here. And then we did use that other heart on the front in Bubble Bath. Let's clean that off and stamp it instead in Strawberry Slush and just add a little pop of a darker heart. I was not pressing down very straight on that one. There we go. I think this one needs a second one just because we need to balance it out a little bit. All right, there we have the front of our card. The inside of our card. The front is done. So once again, with my liquid glue and putting this to the inside of our sweet little Valentine card. Now there's lots of different words that are part of the stamp set. Let's take a look at those and then I'll pull in the other two cards that are complete. So the reason that I did not use Happy Valentine's Day on the front is this is a very big stamp and it was going to take up more space here on the card than I wanted to allow. But you could totally rework this area and use Happy Valentine's Day instead. That would be cute. Of course, you've got your hugs and kisses. And some of these other ones I did use in these follow-up cards. So let's jump in and take a look at those. We'll set this one here. All right. This one was just dressed up a little bit with some die cuts. So I have a Strawberry Slush heart that was die cut. Then I also used, and I think that was this die. Then I also used this little X and O. Okay, now here's something funny. I feel like the saying, even the stamp says, not that one, hugs and kisses, right? Hugs and kisses, sending hugs and kisses. But I feel like when we write that, we always write XO, which would be kiss and hug. So that dawned on me today, and I was like, wait a minute. I don't know why. I don't know why we tend to say hugs and kisses, but we write kisses and hugs. I don't know. What do you think? Do you say it the other way? Do you put your X and your O in a different order? So even though it is hugs and kisses, I decided that the front needed to be a kiss and a hug. So out of Strawberry Slush cardstock, I cut the cute kiss and hug symbol and glued them to the heart. I also had some twine. Honestly, not sure what color this is. This might be Flirty Flamingo, and it looks absolutely perfect with this paper. So I made a bow out of my twine and added it. And then I had some heart rhinestones. Now, these were left over from over 10 years ago when one of my daughters got married, and we used heart rhinestones on something, and we probably had them by the thousands. So I pulled out some heart rhinestones and added those to my card, and then just a couple of other regular rhinestones. Let's see what the inside is. Okay, so this time I used a stamp from the same set and Bubble Bath ink. That gave that really cool kind of double heart look. And then Sending You Hugs and Kisses, both stamped in Strawberry Slush. So that was another version. And then I did one more, keeping the Happy Heart Day the same, keeping the paper the same. I just decorated this one a little bit differently. Now, there are these dies that cut out, I used Strawberry Slush that cut out this size and shape of arrow. And then in the dies, there's actually another arrow that is single and a little bit larger. So that's cute too. So I've got my two arrows. Then you'll notice this very cute die. Let me put it on here so you can see it a little bit better. it cuts out a whole bunch of tiny hearts. So I did that with some bubble bath cardstock, and I only ended up using two of the largest one. And I'll just tell you why. This is the next size. This is the next size down. Let's see if I can get it. So this came from right there. And the other ones are so tiny. They are, I don't even know that I would have much luck getting them glued onto the card. So let's see if I can bring in another one of those. All right, so when you cut this die out, you're going to have, I don't know, about 5 or 6 different hearts of varying sizes. For my card, I did it twice and I just used 2 of the largest ones. Popped some little rhinestone gems on there. And on the inside of this one, I went with this little kind of scribble heart, very cute stamp, today and always. So what I like about that is this doesn't have to be Valentine's, just happy love day or happy heart day, today and always. So this could be just a sweet card to a friend, a daughter, a grandchild, whatever, almost any time of year. Couple little extra hearts, and that one was complete. Hey guys, I almost forgot to mention what came up earlier in the video. I wanted to point out, if you can see the edge of this piece of cardstock here, it looks very rough cut, kind of chunky. That is the indication that you need to put a new blade in your trimmer. So when I cut this paper to get ready for today's video, I noticed that it was not a nice clean cut. I wanted to show it to you, so I went ahead and did this. I will go back and retrim this edge. But when you cut your cardstock and your paper, you should have nice, clean edges and not that rough, choppy look that I got on this piece. So that is a great tip and cutting hint for you to know about that blade. So back to our fast and easy card today. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I love to hear from you. So do be sure and leave me a comment. Let me know if you plan on making this card. Maybe you're going to cut some paper and some different cardstock, kind of like that one that we did on the side, and create something totally different with this. I do want to give a shout out to my friend and very loyal customer. Her name is Kathy. And the whole design for this card today came from a card that she gave me. This was a Happy New Year card from Kathy. Absolutely done just beautifully. She embossed this area, and of course used some of those shiny star elements. Just a perfect way to accent this card. And that is what gave me my inspiration for today's card. Thank you, Kathy. Now, to the rest of you, I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for subscribing. And until next time, happy stamping.